let's start with our focus, where the rail network has been derailed with little hope of getting it back on track. There's been a spate of high-level resignations at Transnet. The Group CEO and CFO have been shunted, as well as the head of the freight rail. Now, the failure of the network is not good for an economy that is slowly chugging along. Well, eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is looking into this issue and joins us now for more updates regarding Transnet. Pule, once again, good to have you back, colleague. I mean, we're having this conversation because our focus today is on Transnet. It seems that while the issues are on their rail network and the implications that they have had on other, sectors, because it seems to be a knock-on effect. Mining, for example, the automotive industry as well, not being able to transport goods using train. It seems that operationally, Transnet's not also looking good.
Yeah, definitely. The Transnet freight rail, entity continues to incur a lot of challenges, particularly because there isn't enough volume of goods that are being transported by rail, and seemingly there's been a decline in the amount of goods that are being transported by rail, and therefore it tells you that more of the goods are being transported via road. And of course, this is really quite a concerning matter, given the fact that Transnet is battling to reform its operations, especially its rail network, and it is quite a crucial component in South Africa's economy as well. I've spoken to two groups as well earlier on. I spoke to AREA, I spoke to the Chartered Institute for Transport and Logistics, and they all, say the same thing, to say that something must be done to resuscitate and rehabilitate the railway network, which is quite important in ensuring that more goods can be transported via rail as well. So Transnet really has had, a major role in carrying freight and fuel around the country and ensuring that these kind of services can be transported. But we're not seeing more of that due to issues that are challenging the state parastatal. We've seen how the Chief Justice Zondo as well, and of course the State Capture Commission, highlighted how state capture, extensively damaged Transnet as well, and of course hampering the operations at the SOE. But also, we now also know that the SIU is investigating some of the dodgy contracts at Transnet as well. They're trying really hard to recover some of the lost amounts there. Separate to that is the mining sector, which also has been quite affected by the operations, costing the state a lot of money, billions we speak. And of course, this has a very bad impact on the economy. But of course, joining me right now, I have Professor Jan Havinga from GAIN Group. Prof, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. Maybe let's just firstly start with the recent news with the stepping down of the top executives at Transnet, of course the CEO and the CFO. What next for Transnet right now? Is this a turning point in the events that now Transnet may be doing well in terms of management and leadership perspective?
Hello, Tuli. I could not hear you at all. Just the last sentence, so I didn't hear your full question.
Oh, I'll repeat that again. Prof, I was saying, now that we see that the, of course, CFO and CEO have stepped down, what next for Transnet? Is this a turning point in the sense that we could be seeing a better improved management and leadership at the state parastatal to steer the SOE in the right direction?
I think it's a great turning point. It's a turning point that we really needed at this stage in terms of what is happening in this country. I think since the beginning of the year, a lot of positive things has happened behind the scenes. It's not going well with our state-owned enterprise, with Transnet, as we know. Losing R1 billion a day, losing 5% of our GDP. But since the beginning of the year, a lot of positive things has happened. President Insona has promised us a roadmap. He's given us a National Logistics Crisis Committee. But then we must remember why we got the Crisis Committee. We got it because there was cooperation tried between the mines and other shippers and Transnet. And Transnet leadership didn't always want to play around. And then when the president started this crisis committee, we still had the problem. There was this, they did cooperate, but sometimes I had the feeling grudgingly, if we speak about it. So it didn't work as well as it should. It didn't start as well as it should. But now what has happened, since Minister Gordhan has appointed the new board, which was a fantastic opportunity for us because it's a great board, it's very competent people. And since the 1st of September, where he gave the instruction to the board to really, really come up with a change plan, a plan about how to fix this, when he came up and asked the board to fit and check management's fitness to do this job, I think a lot of things has changed. And behind the scenes, what has happened, it became clear and apparent. There were stumbling blocks in the way. And with that stumbling blocks out of the way, and what I've seen now, the acting leadership that's been appointed, there's Michelle Phillips. She's been appointed as the acting chief executive of Transnet. She's very competent. She's trusted. A lot of people that I know very well and whose opinion I trust says she's really, really a good appointment. And then I know Russell Baatjies, who's been appointed as the interim or the acting chief executive of the railway, also a hugely accomplished person. So today, I am very positive. We have a minister that's now taking this seriously. We have a president that's taking it seriously. We have good leadership in place. We just now need to fix the damage that has been done and work out over the next few weeks how to fix that damage and how to go forward. So I'm positive today.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, when you speak about the damage, extensive damage that has been done as a result of lawlessness and, of course, negligence on the management and leadership side of things, how long will it take for Eskom for Transnet rather, to recover, Prof? Do you think it may take years for Transnet to recover and finally, contribute and pump in towards the economy as well?
Well, it might not be years before we begin to see change. This is the first thing, because a part of the change, a part of the problems, a part of the issues that we currently have is purely the inability to run trains anymore. There's a lot of good people left in Transnet, but they've not been allowed to do their job as well as they should. Now, if you can get the crisis committee really involved, if you get people like Russell Baatjies and his team really involved, I think very soon we will see at least the improvement of the ability to dispatch trains per day. So I believe in the next 6 months, the volumes will pick up. And thereafter, we can begin to fix infrastructure, etc. And there's plans about how to do it. There's very, very good plans about how to do the 2 to 5 year fix. But for the first 2 years, it critically just means that we need to be able to run and operate the railway better. And the ability to do that actually does exist in the world, in South Africa currently. The ability is there, the people are there, they just need to be brought back in the fold. And I think the current management, the new acting management, and I think people like the new board is going to allow these people to come back on board and help to fix this. So I'm quite positive that we will see an uptick in volumes in the next 6 months and the removal of some of the stumbling blocks over the next year, and then begin to see investment, begin to see fixing of the infrastructure, etc. I think we're at the lowest point now, and it's only going to go up. I am very positive today.
All right. Just in brief and lastly, Prof, what has been the impact of load shedding on Transnet operations? Has it been quite severe?
I think less severe than one would think because of quite a few things. Number one, Transnet to a large extent in many places is had to go back to diesel traction because of the stealing of the overhead wires. Sometimes as much as 50 kilometers per week can be stolen. Because of that, diesel traction is being used more and more, which is not a good thing, obviously, number one. And because of the scheduling, the scheduling problems that the railway have, I would not put that as the biggest problem. The biggest problem is operational. The biggest problem was the inability, the signaling system, the infrastructure that is weak, the bottlenecks that appeared because of poor infrastructure maintenance. I don't think that was the biggest problem at this stage.
All right, thank you very much. It's Professor Jan Havinger from GAIN Group speaking to us this morning, Dumelo.
All right, well, we'll leave it there as well. Pule Letshwiti-Jones, thank you so much for bringing us this conversation, placing the spotlight on the decaying state of our railway networks in South Africa.